and welcome to another episode of the Knitting Hobbit podcast. My name is Rut. I'm a knitter based in the Netherlands and it is the 1st of November, which means that Halloween is over. I feel like most people aren't like me, but I am not a fan of Halloween. I don't like it. I don't like spooky stuff. I don't like Halloween is not my thing, so I'm always glad when it's over and all the Halloweeny things online and everywhere just in the world are over and gone, and now we can go on to Christmas, which is a lot better in my opinion. I'm in a little bit of a weird state today. I just showered, so my hair is still a bit wet. I have a bit of for me, a weird outfit on. But I just want it to be comfy and cozy, so I am wearing my Chaika top, which is a pattern from Midori Hirose, which is the same designer as Ranunculus. I'll get up a little bit. And it's this super boxy, super oversized V-neck top. I don't wear it much. I usually just wear it around the house a bit like this, just to throw over something. And it is really comfy and cozy, but I just personally don't really feel like it looks good enough to like wear to work or something like that. So yeah, it doesn't really get a lot of wear. It is made out of Nashua hand knits, I think. And it was either completely linen or a linen and cotton blend. I cannot, talking is a bit hard. I cannot really remember properly. But yeah, that is what I'm wearing, and I talked a lot more about it in one of my earlier episodes. So if you want more information about this pattern, have a look over there. Today I have quite a lot to share. I have 2 finished objects that weren't even started the last episode, and I have 4 whips, so that is quite a lot to talk through. I completely forgot to record an episode last week because I was starting to, I hate it in English, but in English it's called breaking in. In Dutch we call it inrijden. But the horse that I take care of and that I train, it's when you start putting the saddle on and start putting your own weight on and just getting them used to having a human on their back. And I started with that last week and it was going so well that I was just, my brain wasn't really into the knitting. And then later last week, my energy problems acted up again, which I've been having all my life, and sometimes they are worse than other times. And last week was a really, really bad week. I did not have any energy to do anything. So after work, it was like a nap before dinner, and then have dinner, and then maybe knit like 2 rows on some socks, and then it was off to bed. So yeah, last week was a bit of a weird week, and I have spent all weekend just recovering from work, because I didn't want to call in sick from work because of this. Like, it's hard, but because I've had these issues for so long, I've kind of also learned to deal with it when I really have to. So previously it was always for school, now it's for work, which is also in a school. But yeah, it's been tough, and I hope that this week is going to be better. I'm feeling a little bit better today, but that is because all I've done this weekend is knitting. So I have gotten quite a bit done. One of the projects that I'm going to show I finished this morning, and it spent some hours in the sun. It's mostly dry but still a bit damp, but I can show you. And the other one I finished the week before. So let's start with that. I showed last week, I showed the red yarn that I got to knit a hat for my fake granddad, and it is finished and it looks so good. So I followed a pattern just to get the stitch count, to get my gauge and the stitch count, because I could not be bothered doing any maths. I think I used one from Pearl Soho, maybe the simple cuffed hat. I think something like that it's called. I'll link it down below, but I literally just used it for the stitch count that I needed to cast on, and then I just did a 1x1 ribbing for a couple of centimeters, and then like you can fold it down as well. So 1x1 ribbing, then just plain stockinette, and then I compared it to one of the hats I already have and started the decreases, which are, I think, the same decreases as, which ones did I use? I think as Inga from Knitting Traditions, her slouchy beanie pattern. I use that a lot. I have 2 slouchy beanies and I use it on an Oslo hat as well. I think it just looks really nice. And it makes for a nice rounded top and not like a square or a pointy one. Look, there you can kind of see. So I have yet to give this to him. He does not know I've made it, but when I see them again, I will definitely give it to him. I'm really happy with the yarn that I got. You can feel that it's woolly, but it is so incredibly soft. It is so nice. So this one is, the yarn was from Holland Creatief, and it is the Peruvian Highland base. I do not know what the color name is, but I don't think they have that many colors. Like there's just one red, so it's probably the one red. And I think it's a really, really nice red. It's got some purple hues to it as well, and it's just, I'm not a fan of red quickly, but I think this one is quite pretty. I wouldn't wear it myself, but I do like it. And he wanted a red hat, so yeah, that's that one. It was a really quick knit. I finished it in a couple of days. I think it only took me like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, it's really nice. I'm really, really happy with how this turned out, and I hope it fits him. I have a really big head, so it doesn't really fit me. Like if I put it on, I can get it over my head, but excuse the bangs, but this is about how it fits. So for me, it's a little bit on the small side. It's a little bit tight, but I'm pretty sure he has a smaller head than I do. So I hope this will fit him well. And otherwise, you can always roll the folded hem down a little bit, so the fold will be a bit smaller, but the hat will get a bit longer. And then my second finished object, need to fix my bangs again after that, is the Luminen Jumper by Sari Nordlund. And that is the one that I finished this morning, so it's still a bit damp. So I'm just going to show you quickly, and then I'm going to put it away so it can further dry. But this is the jumper. I still have to weave in my ends, excuse that. So it has this lace panel in the middle, and then it's just a really chunky and fun knit. I'm just going to put it away again. I have one of those little sweater drying racks that kind of goes like that, so the air can go underneath, so it's just drying on that. This jumper I have knit in Wool Addicts Hope. This is by Long Yarns. It is 100 grams per ball, and which has 90 meters. I still have this much left. So 2 complete balls and a little bit. If you know anything that I can knit with this, please comment down below. I haven't looked into any patterns yet, but I'd like to use this up for something else. I don't really care what it is. Maybe a cowl, maybe a hat. Anything is fine. It just has to be one color because I don't have any more colors of this. So I think I have one ball is 90 meters. And I have this much, so I think I have about 200 meters. And I think it's either bulky or super bulky yarn. But I want to talk about this yarn for a bit more, because I had all of these things in my head to say about it, and it's just not coming out. Do you sometimes have those days? Today is one of those days for me. But this yarn, it is very fluffy, and it is only a single ply, which is more often with bulky yarns. But I'm not sure how it's gonna hold up. I'm really curious to see how it will do that. It says, I'm not sure if it's superwash finished. It says it's anti-felting finished. So is that superwash or is that something else? I don't know. But we'll see. But it is really, really soft. If you're ever looking for something to swap out for a la Voslopi, because a la Voslopi might be too scratchy for you, I think this is about the same thickness. I might have some over here actually. Not here. I thought I'd have some a la Voslopi lying around. So to compare, I found a tiny little scrap of a la Voslopi. So to compare, the white one is a la Voslopi and the grey bluey one is this yarn. So I think it will be a perfect replacement. So if this is too scratchy for you, this is still soft. I think if you're really, really sensitive, I think this can still be a bit itchy, but it is definitely not scratchy and it feels soft. So that might be a nice solution for anyone that can't deal with rustic Icelandic yarn, which I totally get. Like, I'm fine with it, but I definitely feel the yarn, so I totally get it if that makes you crazy. But this is really nice and soft, and especially after the washing, they soften up even more. So, and then for what I did, I alternated it a little bit. I knitted at a smaller gauge, so I think this yarn is a little bit thinner than the yarn that she used in her version, which is totally fine, because when I saw the pictures of Sari's version, I really liked it. Like, I love how the lace panel looks in the middle, but I wasn't a big fan of, I always call it like a potato sack. Like, if you have this jumper that gives you absolutely no shape whatsoever, and it's just big and it doesn't hug your body at all, because sometimes crop jumpers can still like fall along your body. But it's just like a big sack. I call it a big potato sack. And that is what came to me in my mind when I saw that jumper. So I knew I wanted to knit it because it looked gorgeous, but I wanted to change the sizing a little bit. So the smallest size in the pattern still had a lot of positive ease for me. So I thought, fine, I can just take the smallest size and knit it at a smaller gauge. So I ended up knitting this at the 10 millimeters, on the 10 millimeters, which is also, I think, what she knitted in, but because the yarn is a bit thinner, my gauge got a bit smaller, which resulted in the jumper I have now. Once it is dry, I will definitely post a picture on Instagram to show how it looks on. But before I washed it, it looked really good. Like, it was hugging my body. It wasn't tight, but it was hugging my body and hugging my arms, and it didn't have the really big sleeves. Like, hers looks a bit more like the sleeves I currently have. But it it fits perfectly, like exactly how I would want a jumper to fit. So I don't think it grew that much in the wash, so it should be fine afterwards as well. But I will be posting a picture on Instagram, and my Instagram is always linked below. It's also called The Knitting Hobbit. So yeah, if you're curious to that, give me a follow over there. So yeah, smaller gauge, but everything else I think is the same. I knit the body a bit longer because it is such a nice, chunky, warm jumper. I didn't want it to be cropped. I wanted it to be a proper warm jumper that hits like just above my bum about. And then I can't remember if I even looked at the pattern for the sleeves. I think I just did for the stitch count. And then I didn't look anymore. So I just knitted for the length I needed. And I added quite a bit of ribbing. And yeah, I think I did 11 rows of ribbing. So with this chunky 10mm yarn, that is about this much ribbing. So yeah, nothing else special to say about it. It is a really fun jumper to knit because it is on such big needles. It goes super quickly. It has a really nice raglan construction, which always fits me quite nicely. I feel like a raglan fits me better than a yoke, but I do love knitting a yoke. So yeah, yokes aren't going anywhere, but I do prefer the fit of raglans. And this one is really nice, and it's got the really nice turtleneck. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think this jumper will get a lot of wear this winter because, and with the lace panel, it still looks like a really nice jumper that I can definitely wear to work. Where it is always really cold, by the way, because COVID is still a thing. We have the windows open at all times, and the classroom where I am in, it's in quite like a drafty location within the school. Like there's no separate doors between my classroom and the front door, but it can also go straight across the hallway to other classrooms if they have their door open. So it is quite a drafty place, and our classroom is always the coldest in the whole building, even though everybody has their windows open. So I'm going to be needing all the warm jumpers this winter. Talking about warm things, nice little transition there. I'm still working on my kose kofta, but we're getting along well. I added in the armhole sticks. This is the front, and I am nearly halfway the big Selby roses. So we're definitely getting some headway into this. It is a really, really nice long cardigan. Like I just held it up like under my arm and I put in the armhole sticks, and it goes to over my bum. So it is gonna be so cozy and so warm with the color work in DK. But the yarn I'm using is like nearly a worsted. I feel like it's a bit thicker than a lot of DK yarns. So I'm knitting it at quite a tight gauge. And it's just going to be so warm and lovely. And I think I will be wearing this all the time. And I don't have much more to say about this. I've already mentioned this cardigan a lot. I just do a couple rows every once in a while. I'm taking my time, enjoying this. I'm not forcing myself to finish it or anything like that. But I think once I'm now like getting near to the body being done, after the big Selby roses, I think there's one or two more of the small charts to do, and then the body will be done. So then I can stick it and try it on, and I think that will give me all the motivation to have the sleeves absolutely fly off my needles. So I'm taking my time, but I think it's not going to be too long anymore. And if you haven't seen any of my previous episodes, I am using Drops Charisma in anthracite and light pearl grey for this cardigan. The yarn is knitting up nicely. You can definitely feel that it is a superwash yarn, but I am really excited to see how this is gonna wear and wash with time. So that was just quick because I have already mentioned it so often. And another one that I've already mentioned a lot are these socks, but I'm just showing them to hold myself accountable. I'm just knitting a couple rows on them every once in a while. Currently the needles are annoying me because, as you can see, it's quite hard to move the sock across the needles because they are wood. So because I am enjoying my Chaya Goose so much, I ordered a set of circulars in 2.25 millimeters of the Chaya Goose for my socks, so that I can knit them with metal needles, which will be really nice, I think. They should be arriving later this week, hopefully, so then I can give metal needles a go for socks, which I'm excited for. The yarn is Woolly Mama yarns. I cannot remember the colorway, but it is up on my Ravelry, and I do not think she sells it anymore because I bought it over a year ago now. Then it is time for my Stephen West Mystery Knit Along Shawlography. I have been having so much fun knitting this. I do have to say that the end result of the pattern is not really my style. I am not sure how much actual wear it's gonna get, but I have been having the most fun knitting on this, and I do like the colors that I chose. So we'll just have to see with time how much wear it's gonna get. It is not finished yet, but I am nearly halfway through the last clue. So if you don't want to see any spoilers, then skip ahead, because I'm going to be showing you the whole shawl with the last clue. Let me just spread it out over the needle so I can show you quite nicely. Here it is. So these stripes are the last clue, these ones. It is the border of the shawl, and it's really nice because you're immediately adding on the I-cord edging. So I am nearly... I'm looking through where the I-cord loops are so I can see what I'm showing you. Actually quite handy. So yeah, I'm nearly halfway, as you can see. And at the moment I'm just giving it time. I am aiming to finish this before next week, to finish this week, so that when the the deadline for spoiler warnings is over, which is the coming Friday, I can show everybody my finished shawl without having to put Stephen West's face first on my Instagram. So yeah, I am really happy with it. As I said, I'm not sure it is really my style, and I'm not sure how much I would actually wear it, but I do think the size is perfect, and it would probably grow a lot in a wash, which I don't mind because I've knitted it on a bit smaller needles, knowing that it will do that. Also because this is quite a stretchy fabric. This is a very stretchy fabric. The brioche is a stretchy fabric, and this is on garter stitch, so that's stretchy as well. But I think it will be really nice if I put it around right now. It falls like this. So yeah, I think it is really, really nice size. My Fantastic was already loads bigger than intended before washing it, which is why it got into an absolute blanket after washing. And this is how it looks wearing it as a scarf. So that is quite nice as well. I really like how the stripes look as the border. And yeah, I feel like for a realistic wearing, the middle part of this shawl is just a bit too busy for me. But we'll see. maybe some days, like on special occasions, but just like this part, it is, yeah, it's quite busy. It is a lot of fun to knit, but it just looks a bit busy. I think lower contrast, like a really low contrast shawlography would be more my jam to actually wear, but this has been the most fun to knit, and to knit with the really high contrasts. So yeah, and I do think that this will be really nice and warm because it's all merino, and it does feel like here it's quite like a thicker fabric for fingering weight, like it's really squishy and nice. So I do think that this shawl will give you a lot of warmth in the winter. So yeah, hopefully I'll finish it this week, but I'm not sure. Like I told you at the beginning, with my energy issues at the moment, we are going to have to see how I'm going to survive the work week, if I'm going to have any energy at all in the evenings to knit on this. The stripes are a lot of fun to knit. They're really intuitive and they keep you engaged because of course it's not that many rows before you got a new stripe again. And the only thing that's kind of annoying me is that you have to turn this whole thing around. Ooh, I hit myself in the face with the needles. But you have to turn the whole thing around every time you finish a row, and the rows are pretty short, so you have to do that a lot. So that is why this is not a knit for me for when I have low energy. At the moment, it is really brainless to knit the stripes, really easy to remember the repeat, and once you've done one or two, you're good to go. I haven't looked at the pattern since I was somewhere over here. So that is my shawlography. Then the last project. If you've paid a lot of attention in the last episodes, you will notice that the yellow yarn over here is gone. And that's because I have finally cast it on. It is in this bag. This bag is by the Happy Kiwi Stitch Markers or the Happy Kiwi shop. I'm never sure which one of the two it is. But she has an Etsy shop and she's active on Instagram. And she made this bag especially for me when I asked her really politely if she could please make me, I think it's a large version of her bag with Harry Potter fabric. And this is what she got me, and I'm really, really happy with it. I can't remember though if it's a medium or a large. I think it's a large. But in here, it is still the tiniest WIP ever. I just cast it on a couple hours ago, and then I had the shower and I had lunch, so but it's this, and the little hint as to what this is gonna be is this stitch marker, which is also from the Happy Kiwi, and it's a little bee with little bling bling in his wings. I really like it. So this is the start of my wool and honey. This pattern has been on my queue for forever. I really love how it looks, and I think I will really enjoy knitting the yoke. I love knitting textured yokes, and I love the elongated stitches, and I just yeah, I love this color as well. So this yarn I got through a yarn swap with Knit Crits, who also has a podcast here on YouTube, and she's also active on Instagram. So I did a yarn swap with her a while ago, and she's based in America, and I'm in the Netherlands, so we could swap European and American yarn. And she got me this Quince & Co. Finch, specifically for this pattern, so of course I had to knit it. She did ask me like, what pattern do you really want to knit, and she got me yarn specifically for this when I said I wanted to knit the wool and honey. So this is 100% American wool, and it's in the color Apricot 137. So it is fingering weight yarn. I think it's non-superwash because it doesn't say it is superwash. So I think it's non-superwash. But I've got a bunch of skeins of these. I haven't really counted them or anything, like I'm not prepared. She said it was enough, so I totally believe her, and otherwise it will be cropped. But it's probably definitely enough. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I'm just knitting the ribbing right now on these really tiny 2mm needles, because my gauge needle is a 2.75 for this pattern. So this pattern and this yarn will probably recur quite a lot in this podcast, because it is going to be on really small needles, so it's going to be taking a while. But I do think that this pattern is totally worth it, and I'm really excited to get going with this, to finish the ribbing and to start on the yoke. So yeah, really excited for this. Did I have anything else to say about this? I don't think so. I do want to say that, like, this is the really fun part of doing a knit swap, because I would have never gotten to try this yarn if it wasn't for the swap, because of imports and tax and all of those things. It would have been super expensive for me to buy it from America, but because we did the swap, it is actually a really good deal, I feel like. Almost. And it's just a lot of fun. So we did the swap through Knitting Traditions Ravelry group, so if you are interested, definitely have a look over there. Most of the people over there are lovers of rustic yarn, so especially if you love that as well, then I really recommend having a look. So yeah, that was everything for this week and for last week, because my head was in the clouds with how well it was going with the horse. So yeah, so she's taking a bit of a break right now, until I've got like stuff with my body figured out and I'm kind of like back to normal, because I want to be able to put as much energy as I have into it, and so that everything goes really well. And as long as I don't have it, it's just not worth the hassle, because when I'm low on energy, I'm usually grumpy, and that doesn't go well with trying to learn and animal new things. So she has a holiday, which I'm sad about it, but it's like the best choice for right now, and it doesn't matter that much because she's still very young. So whenever I have stuff figured out, it's not going to be an issue to pick everything back up again. So yeah, we'll see how much knitting I get done. If I get a lot done, there will be an episode next week. If I don't get that much done because my energy is basically non-existent, I will be skipping a week and be back again in 2 weeks. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please give a like and subscribe if you did. You can also follow me on Instagram. I always post there when I'm going to be recording a new episode or when I'm uploading one. And I will be posting pictures of my whips and my finished objects, of course. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye! Hi, Editing Ruth here. I just wanted to quickly add that I have read all of your comments on the last video, and I really wanted to thank you for sharing them with me. They're really kind. But as I have explained in this video, I just have not had the brain power to respond to them because I've been so tired. So I hope you excuse me for that, but I do really appreciate them, and I do read them all. If I've given the little heart, I've read it, and yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you as well to all the new subscribers. That was it. I just a bit of a thank you. So bye.